Good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome along to the Sports Corner Live. I don't think we've said that in a long time. It's been ages since we've done our last stream on the channel. Apologies, we've had real big issues with connections and Wi-Fi and things like that. But we are back. Touch wood, I'm doing that right now. That hopefully we can do more watch-alongs and things like that in the near and upcoming future. As I said, we've had a few connection issues. We're thinking we might have sort them out to some extent, but we'll talk about that a little bit more in just a moment's time, because we've got a big game tonight, and a very big game it is indeed, between Manchester United and Atalanta. It should be a good game, it should be a cracking watch, and hopefully you guys, you'll stick around tonight, because it's not just those games going on in the background. There's a whole host of other Champions League matches going on tonight, which we will run you through in a moment. But welcome along. How are we? We're back, finally. It's taken us a little while to get here, but here we are. It's Old Trafford tonight, which is the destination for a massive match between Manchester United and Atalanta. You could say it's a must-win for the Premier League side. We'll go through the groups and everything in a moment, but if you are new as always, don't forget to leave a like and subscription on the channel. We've got a whole host of watch-alongs coming up, hopefully, in the near future. This is kind of a tester, I guess you could say, to see whether or not that our streams can hold up. So if there are any lag issues or anything like that happen throughout the stream, then do tell us in the chat. We will try and hopefully weather the storm, as I would like to say so myself. I'm going to turn the light off for now because kickoff isn't yet, so it will be a little bit fuzzy in the background. But what we are going to do is go through the lineups of the two teams, and then also go through the lineups of the rest of the games that are coming up tonight. You'll have already seen on the left and the right hand side two games that were played this afternoon. On the left hand side in Group F, Group E even, it was Barcelona against Dinamo Kiev. 1-0 win for Barcelona tonight. Not the most convincing result, if I say so myself, but a result that is more than good enough to put Barcelona back into the race for the potential shout of making it out of their Champions League group, especially considering Kiev were hot on their heels in that game. And on the right-hand side, it was a 4-goal. I wouldn't say it was a thriller. I think a very good game for Salzburg up against Wolfsburg, who are in very bad form right now. It does mean that if Salzburg do get a point in their next game, which is, I believe, against Wolfsburg again, then it should mean that they are through to the next round of the Champions League for the first time in history. So that is a very, very good motive for the Austrian side to make it through to the next round. But before we go through the teams and the lineups, how are we all? Welcome back. How are we doing, Reese? He's put, yo, welcome along, Reese. Hope you're good as always. And then Kyle has put, hey, Josh and all. Good to see you again on the channel as always. Let's go through the lineups. Take my face off screen for now. Starting off with the main game, the game that I am covering tonight. It is Manchester United against Atalanta. Big game, this one. With the way that Group F is right now, Manchester United are sat in third on 3 points. Young Boys in second on 3 points. And then Atalanta, the Italian side, they are topping Group F, on 4 points. So the pressure is on both teams tonight, because a win would ultimately put them to the top of the group, dependent on the result between Villarreal and Young Boys, which we'll talk about that game in just a moment's time. But starting off with the Man U lineup, 4-2-3-1 today for Manchester United. David De Gea is in goal. Back four, Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Of course, Man United fans saying that their game against Leicester wasn't a good result at all, rightly so. Going to be a big game tonight for Maguire and Lindelof. We'll talk about it a little bit more when we do get to the actual game, but considering they conceded 4 against Leicester, Atalanta, we know how good they are attacking-wise. It's a massive test tonight for that back four. Midfield 3, you've got McTominay and Fred. They're the holding 2 midfielders in this game. Of course, Fred back from the international fixtures that caused him to travel over to. I think he wasn't in the last game, wasn't he? Because of the international rules. So basically, just stayed out of that match. And then Bruno Fernandes, of course, is the central attacking midfielder. Marcus Rashford is on the left-hand side, of course, back from injury. Good to see. Mason Greenwood, who scored a brilliant goal against Leicester at the weekend. He's on the right-hand side. Cristiano Ronaldo, big game for him as well. He is up top. On the bench, Pogba, Cavani, Sancho. There is a whole host of quality players in that team. As for the away side, Atalanta, you can see their bench is just a little bit more depleted. They've got a couple of injuries, a couple of players out, one of them being Robin Gosens, who is out for a couple of months, I believe. So big kind of loss, isn't it, really, for Atalanta, losing him. But they're playing with a 3-4-1-2 tonight. Juan Musso, the Argentinian, signed from Udinese a couple of months ago. He is the goalkeeper. Back three of Juan Palomino, Merech Demiral of Juventus on loan, and Martin de Roon playing as a centre-back tonight. Big call, of course, to play him there. They are pretty much injury-ridden, I guess you could say, at the back. Joachim Mæhle and Davide Zappacosta are the two wide midfielders. Should be an interesting game to see how Zappacosta does as a wide midfielder tonight. Remo Freuler and Teun Koopman has done very well since joining from AZ Alkmaar. He is in the midfield. Mario Pasalic is in behind the strikers. They are Muriel and Josip Ilicic. They are going to be a very dangerous pair. Do not count those two out. They are scoring goals for fun in Italy. Not just this season, but for the last couple of seasons. Any players on the bench that could do some damage? Zapata and Malinovsky, probably the main two. Alexei Miranchuk as well. Another player that can do some pretty decent damage when he plays. We'll go through the rest of the games in a moment. A couple of you guys put in the comments. Winvow's in the building. How are we doing? Welcome along, Winvow. He's asked why didn't we stream for a while. The reason why is we've had a few connection problems. We've tried to weather the storm. We're hoping we've weathered the storm now, which should mean we should be able to get back underway with streams again. It's predominantly going to be me and Rowan. There'll probably be maybe some streams with the other two Kierans, but connection-wise, I don't know what their connection's like. They've got a different connection than I have, so I'm a little bit more blessed. Well, myself and Rowan are a little bit more blessed, so you'll probably see us two a little bit more over the next couple of months. But hopefully we'll have both Kieran's and Will coming in and out of the streams at certain points. But we're back. That's the important thing. We're back and we're ready for watch-alongs all over again. And then Daz is in the buildings. But hi Josh, how are you doing this evening? I'm very good. Very, very good indeed. Looking forward to this game because it should be quite a feisty one. Now, as I said, there are a couple other games going on tonight. We'll go through the lineups of those in a second. Usually we do the goal show for the Champions League. Probably not going to see those for a little while, so the way we'll do it is I'll do my own mini goals show and we'll get to see what happens with all of the goals, fingers crossed, if everything works out okay. So let's go through the actual games coming up that we'll be keeping an eye out on in the background. We'll start off with Group E, Benfica up against Bayern Munich. Good game, that one. Of course, Benfica coming out 3-0 shock winners against Barcelona last week, or 2 weeks ago, and Bayern Munich coming out with a 5-0 win over Kiev. So a lot of expectation on that game to be quite an exciting one. Starting off with the Benfica team, it's a 3-4-3 tonight for the Portuguese side. Vlachodimos is in goal. Vertonghen, Otamendi and Verissimo are the back three. You've got, of course, Gian Mario as well in midfield. He's alongside Julian Weigl. And then up top, Roman Yaremchuk, the Ukrainian. Brilliant player. Has done very, very well since joining SL Benfica. And there will be some pressure on the front three tonight of Rafa, Yaremchuk and Nunes to cause Bayern Munich some problems. As you can see on the slideshow, as the two teams pass by, the Bayern Munich team, 4-2-3-1, they always play that system. Never really changes, does it? Of course, Lewandowski up top, he has been a little bit quiet, I guess you could say, over the last few weeks. Did score, however, in his last game, which is a major, major positive for Bayern Munich. But also in there is Kingsley Coman, a player who hasn't really been playing recently. It's been Leroy Sané and Gnabry who've been the main two. But of course Sabitzer as well, another name who has not really played a great deal as of recent. So that is the Benfica Bayern Munich game. As I said before, really looking forward to that match. Should be one of the highlights of the night. No doubt plenty of goals to come in that one. We'll move over now to the other game in the group alongside Manchester United. That is Young Boys against Villarreal. Young Boys, what a brilliant start they've had to their Champions League campaign. That big win, of course, against Manchester United means that they're sat on 3 points and in second. Does that mean they're going to be staying second? That is the real question. 5-3-2 tonight for the Young Boys. Sia Bachu, probably the main man to keep your eyes out for. You'll know if you've been on the channel before, Mr. Kieran Lawler is a very big fan of Jordan Siebatcheu, and no doubt he'll be the key player up top for the Swiss side tonight. As for Villarreal, their key man, Gerard Moreno, is back in the team, being out with an injury for a little while. He is up top alongside Danjuma and Jeremy Pino, two very, very good players so far this season for Villarreal. Keep your eyes out on those two tonight. Danjuma, of course, probably the better of the two so far. Very, very lively player since joining from Bournemouth. So that's the Young Boys Villarreal game. I think a lot of people expecting Villarreal to come out fairly dominant winners tonight. Not really started their league campaign in Spain well this season, so it could maybe bring us some surprises. We'll have to see. Let's move over to Group H now. That is the group with Chelsea and Juventus. Starting off with the Chelsea-Malmo game. We kind of know what to expect from a game like this. Malmo really struggled, as expected, in their group. Conceded 7 goals so far, haven't scored any, and have 0 points on the board. As for Chelsea, they're sat in second place, 3 points on the board. It is kind of imperative tonight that Chelsea do go and win this game, because that Juve-Zenit match has got a hell of a lot riding on it. But as you can see with the teams going by, Malmo tonight playing with a 5-3-2. Their key man in the team, Anders Christiansen, the captain. He does like to go in with a rash tackle. So if you do like a couple of flying tackles going in, then he's certainly an interesting player to watch. But aside from that, the captain, the leader of the team, I would say is the key man for them to get them going tonight. As for Chelsea, well, we know who's the key man. Romelu Lukaku. Safe to say him and Werner tonight will cause Malmo a hell of a lot of problems. A couple of other players in there as well. N'Golo Kante, Mason Mount. We know what Chelsea can do. They've won this competition. We know they're probably going to be up there again by the end of the Champions League campaign. What about the other game in Group H? As I said a moment ago, Zenit against Juventus. For me, probably one of the games of the night. Absolute belter this one could be. As I'm going to stop for a second because Mr. Kyle, the absolute legend, has just come in with a €20 donation. Thank you very much, Kyle, the absolute legend. He's put, it's not much, but don't spend it all at once. Thank you very much, Kyle. I'm going to do the Gareth Bale heart for you. Greatly, greatly appreciated as always, you absolute legend. And don't worry, I won't spend it all at once. But thank you very much once again, Kyle, for that €20 donation. Greatly appreciate with the super chat as always. Cal being an absolute legend on our channel, always around whenever we do stream. He did say before as well, these streams have been a big help to me over the year. They're a great watch, entertainment everywhere, and you guys have made it all the better. All the great people in the chat are a great bunch as well, and I'm proud and honoured to be part of this great community, so cheers. You're going to make me cry in a second, Cal. Thank you very much. Greatly, greatly appreciated, you bloody legend. Let's go over, though, as I said, that Zenit Juve game. That's the next game coming in Group H. I think this has got potential to be the game of the night. Brilliant, brilliant two teams. Zenit in a little bit of a bad run of form. They're actually now 2 games without a win. So it is a really big game for them to try and get something in the match. But Juventus, on the other hand, they're now on a 5-game win streak, which is completely different to what we saw a couple of weeks ago. When they were in the bottom 3 of Serie A. But you can see on the screen, the Juventus side, 4-3-3 tonight. A couple of key players missing for them. But one player who is back is Alvaro Morata. Big, big player. They've been missing a key striker for the last couple of weeks now, Juventus. So no doubt Morata will probably be back amongst the goals tonight, as he usually is. As for Zenit, they're quite a decent side on paper. Maybe not at the back. Probably a fairly weak back line apart from Dejan Lovren. But Malcolm and Claudinho, they were very key in Zenit's 4-1 win against Malmo in their last match. It was the highest scoring game ever in Champions League history for Zenit. So if they can ride the crest of the wave, then maybe Zenit tonight could cause a few problems for Juve. I doubt it. I think Juventus will probably go on and win the game fairly comfortably. But you never know. It could be a very, very good game to watch at the very least. And then the final game of the night, this one is in Group G. Lille against Sevilla. 2 very good teams on paper. Lille, of course, struggling actually in France right now. Sevilla doing quite well in Spain. And going through those teams tonight, Sevilla still missing their main man up top, En-Nesyri. He's actually suspended still after getting a red card in their first group stage match. So Rafa Mir is up top for them today. Alongside Campos and Suso. Could be two very key players. Campos, who's been out for a large period of time with an injury. Probably for me the main man to keep your eyes out on. As for Lille, Renato Sanchez and Burak Yilmaz are the two players up top. Renato Sanchez again, just like a Campos, was out with a long-term injury. He's just come back recently. And he's playing as a striker tonight, which is a really big call, I have to say, because I don't think we all really recognise Renato Sanchez as a striker. So how he does alongside Burak Yilmaz is going to make for very interesting viewing. But I think we're about to get underway. I am going to say, before we do kick off, try not to spoil anything in the chat tonight. I am probably about a minute and a half behind. Of course, Man U Atalanta is the main game that we're going to be keeping our eyes out on tonight. But don't worry, I think, touch wood, I'll have you covered with the rest of the goals this evening. I can talk you through all the goals, so hopefully we do get goals in abundance tonight. But we are underway with Manchester United against Atalanta. For those of you wondering where the clock is on the screen, with the way that it is this year with the clocks, I haven't actually got the clock on, so unfortunately there's going to be no clock sadly this year. But my sound has gone, so do give me 2 seconds. I'm going to try and sort out the sound, and then we should hopefully be alright. But should be a good game, this one. Two teams with a lot on the line, I think you could say, if I'm being honest with you. The pressure is going to build, isn't it, on Manchester United, especially if they don't get themselves a win today. And I know why the sound's off, because I didn't put the sound on. Silly me. But there we go. We are officially underway. And just looking at what you guys have been saying in the chat, I know some of you have put your predictions in. If you do want to put a prediction in the chat, do feel free. And we'll talk through what you are roughly predicting tonight. But I'm going to go down very quickly to the back end of the chat, because I know a couple of comments have come in the meantime while we were going through the lineups. Daz saying he was happy about last night's game. I saw a comment earlier. I feel like I missed it. That's it. Winvow saying Ole said he'll play Fred even if he is unfit. And I mean, I know there's a lot of slander for Fred. But I think, especially in that Man United game against Leicester, he's kind of like, even though he doesn't always perform at the highest levels, I do still feel like Fred is a very key player that when he's not there for Man U, he is a big, big miss for them. And I think it is going to be very key tonight to see how Man United try and stop the constant waves of Atalanta attacks. But it's going to be Man United who attack first here. Bruno Fernandes on the right-hand side. He's shrugged off quite easily by Merch Demal. And there were a couple of protests from him for a potential free kick. But the referee, he's not going to give anything in the early 2 minutes of this match. And rightly so. Seeing from the other comments as well, Daz thinks he's going to be 4-0 United tonight. That is a very interesting prediction, Daz. Considering they lost 4-2 to Leicester, I mean, the bounce-back effect could be in full fruition. But I think this will be a very key game. And Greenwood plays the ball into the path of Rashford, who tries to dink the keeper, and he's offside in the end. And either way, I think he's probably a little bit lucky there that the flag has gone up. It's a really good ball from Scott McTominay. He does just dissect the whole of the Atalanta back three, and I think it's just a little bit too close to the keeper where he tries to dink him, and in the end, Rashford's shot does just go wide of the near post. And so nearly, your prediction could have been a third of the way there, fourth of the way there, Darren. Daz, even, because you could have had a nice early goal in the first couple of the early minutes of this match. Chris in the building as well. How are we doing, Chris? Oh, you're good as always, mate. He's put evening, Josh. Hope you're well. I'm doing very good indeed. Hopefully you're all good. Chris saying Manchester United 2, 1 Atalanta. Ole to shit out a win, and there's a chance here for Atalanta to come forward. and it's just a little chance for Muriel at the edge of the box. Tries to finesse the ball into the bottom left-hand corner, but in the end his shot is a little bit weak, and Man United just trying to get the ball away. And as we know, defensively, not looking confident at the back so far. A bit of a worry for Manchester United in these early few minutes of the match. And if you are wondering why I'm looking this way, it is because the TV is on that side as Zappacosta comes forward on the right-hand side, tries to lay a ball into the box for Muriel, but I think the referee's given a free kick on Maguire, who was fouled in the build-up to the potential Atalanta chance. And just seeing it now, not really much in it, to be honest with you. And either way, it was a goal kick, so not really much in it there in terms of a foul. But Chris going for a 2-1 win. As you can see on my prediction, I've gone 2-2 tonight. I think Atalanta, as I said, they're a crazy attacking side. They just constantly love to push forward. We've seen it in the last couple of years when they play. I'm going to stop for a second because there's a long ball to Rashford here on the left wing. Going to try and press forward, and in the end, good defending from, I think it was Merck Demal again. Just closing down Marcus Rashford, making sure there's no early chances in the game. And so far, 5 minutes on the clock, a very, very lively start indeed, as you would expect from two teams with plenty of attacking talent. And so far, no goals in either of the other 5 games going on tonight. Man United obviously still 0-0. A couple of early moments in the Chelsea game, but that one's still 0-0. Benfica very nearly conceded in the first 2 minutes to Bayern, but so far, nothing coming from either of the 6 games, not 5, that are going on tonight in the Champions League. As you'll know, there were a couple of games earlier on. 4 goals in the Salzburg game, 1 goal in the Barca match. And as is rightly been said in the chat by Mr. Winvow, an absolute thriller in the Europa League early on between Spartak Moscow and Leicester City. 7-goal thriller, that one. As Atalanta are going to come forward again here. Zappacosta tries to lay the ball into the box on the right-hand side. And again, the wing-backs here of Atalanta causing all sorts of problems for Manchester United in these early few moments. Zappacosta specifically on the right-hand side is the real key danger man. And we know that they've had their defensive frailties recently, Man United. But we have had our first goal of the night. And it's come in the game between Young Boys and Villarreal. And it looks like Villarreal have taken an early lead in that game. And to just talk you through the goal, I'm going to see who's put it in the back of the net to see if it's a nice goal. It comes down on the left-hand side. It's a ball in from Pedraza. And in the end, it's Yeremy Pino, who just makes a run at the near post. It is a very, very simple finish for the young winger. But a man who I said has been in quite good form this season for Villarreal has bagged the first goal of the evening in the Champions League. And it is it's Villarreal 1, not Manchester United. No goals yet there. 1-0 to Villarreal, Yeremy Pino. And that is the first goal of the evening. Hopefully, we can get a few more on the board tonight. As Daz has asked, any bets on tonight, Josh? I had one before, let me down. Peter Wright to win the darts, it was. There are bets on tonight. I can talk you through them, in fact. So I've got a bet on Villa. Well, I'll talk them through in a second because there's another goal. But one of the bets is a card bet. And then one of the bets I've got is based on the Juve game. But I'm going to stop for a second because I believe there is also a goal in the Chelsea against Malmo match. Chelsea, of course, expected tonight to go out there and probably put a fair few goals past Malmo. A long ball into the box, comes towards the path of Rudiger. He heads it down, then comes towards Lukaku, who plays it to the very edge of the box. Is he going to go and hit this from long range? No, it's another ball into the box, and it is a pretty scuffed shot from Andreas Christensen. But his scuffed shot does actually make it into the back of the net. And just like that, we have our second goal of the night. It is Chelsea 1, Malmo 0, and it is a sensible one. I don't think anybody would have expected to get on the score sheet tonight. That is Andreas Christensen. As I said, pretty scuffed effort at goal, but a goal is a goal. And Chelsea with a 1-0 lead on the night. Of course, Group H looking fairly interesting with Juventus and Chelsea both, as it stands, on 7 and 6 points respectively. Of course, Zenit back on 3. If they can get a point tonight, Zenit, would be a very, very good result for them indeed. Winvar was saying Daka was crazy today. What do you think about Daka? A very, very good player. I think any forward that comes out of the Salzburg club usually comes a big player. I'm going to stop for a second though, because Bruno Fernandes is hitting one from long range. His deflected shot very nearly landed into the path of Ronaldo, but Juan Musso is the quickest to the ball. And a fairly simple save from the Argentinian in what has been a fairly lively first 10 minutes of this game at Old Trafford. But going back to what you were saying about Daka before, I think any player that comes out of the Salzburg system usually is a big player. Haaland has gone on to do big things. Daka, I think, will go on to do big things. Jonathan Soriano, who was a Spanish player, played there a couple of years ago, was a legend, a club icon at that club. And now we've got Adeyemi as well, who again looks like he's going to be the real deal. I really like Daka. I think he's a very, very good player. And Leicester have got someone who's probably going to be worth triple, maybe quadruple his value to what they paid for him. He's that good. Or at least I think he's that good. Maybe he's not as good as I make him out to be. Chris saying, why was Leicester playing today, not Thursday? I don't know whether it's to do with the rulings of Russian and Ukrainian clubs, or whether it's due to the fact that the weather in Russia is much colder than it is here. So I think it was about 2 or 3 degrees in Russia at the time that they played, which is why the fixture was played early. It's something. I don't know what it is exactly, but if I was to guess, I would have probably presumed it's one of those two things. But I'm going to go back to the Man United game, because we've got the first corner of the match, and it's gone to Manchester United. And it's going to be the first chance here for Harry Maguire and Lindelof to both get themselves forward. This would be very, very good if they could put the first set piece into the back of the net. It's going to be lobbed into the box towards the path of Ronaldo. Doesn't get to him in the end. It's going to come back to United. Ball lobbed into the box. Again, it's headed away by Merih Demiral, who has probably been the most key player on the pitch for Atalanta in these first 10 minutes. And now Atalanta are going to hit on the break here. Ilisic's trying to feed it through to Pasalic, but his pass is just a little bit too weak. And Man United are going to come forward again here. It's going to be Luke Shaw on the left-hand side. Long ball over to Ronaldo. Again, Merih Demiral. The animal at the back he is. With a really good header to get the ball away. But it is going to come back to United again. Bruno with the header. And I think Martin de Roon is just able to clear the ball away. For what has been a very, very good start for Manchester United. Any opportunities that they seem to be able to get to push forward, I think they're going to take tonight. Because Atalanta, they do tend to leave a lot of space. And that's exactly what they've done in the first 12 minutes. Left so much space for Man United to break into, that you just don't feel like this game is going to be 0-0 for much longer with the way it started. But Chris has said, fair play to Johnny Clayton winning the World Grand Prix and Rob Cross winning the European Championship. Yeah, really good for Rob Cross. Very, very happy for him, because I have sat there for the last month ranting and raving about the fact that Rob Cross is getting back to his very best. And the fact that he did win the European Championship is just a beautiful love story for darts, isn't it? He's kind of... I think the best way to describe Rob Cross is he's kind of the Harry Kane of darts. He just keeps coming back, winning trophies from time to time. And you don't win 4 trophies in darts without being a good player. And it's really nice to see Rob Cross back to his very best again. I'm very happy for him, because he's a very good player to watch when he's on his very, very best form. And I think we're just starting to see a little bit of that again now, which is very, very nice. And then Johnny Clayton winning the World Grand Prix. I mean, that was an incredible result for him. Absolutely battered Gavin Price in what was a bloody good final. Wasn't even a bad game at all. So it is good to see the fact that every single kind of every single competition's not really had a same winner. It's all been different. So it's good to see that there's a little bit of a difference in terms of who wins the titles and how competitive any PDC tournament is. But in terms of the next competition that is coming up, talking about that, which is the... I can't remember. It's the Kazoo one. Is it the... It's not the Grand Slam, is it? Oh, no, it is, yeah. The Grand Slam that's coming up. I'm going to be doing streams for that. So I will be back with the Grand Slam, which is in November time. So I should be doing a couple of streams for it. So I'm hoping we should have some very good games there. But yeah, the darts will be back soon. We're at that kind of period now in the calendar where there are a lot of big tournaments going on. I know a lot of you guys are here for the darts as well, so don't you worry. The darts will be back in about 2 or 3 weeks' time. And there's going to be a hell of a lot of darts content to come over the next couple of months. So do keep your eyes out for it, because the darts will dominate the channel, especially while things are quiet. But there's a chance here for Atalanta, and a goal. And it's Mario Pasalic who puts the ball into the back of the net. And it's the worst possible start for Manchester United in this game against Atalanta. And it has come from absolutely nowhere. What I will say is it has come from the right-hand side, as expected. It's been constant domination from Atalanta on the far right-hand side of the pitch. One long ball, it goes to Luis Muriel on the right wing, and they just patiently build up him, Ilicic, and Zappacosta. It's a lovely ball into the box, and I think Pasalic is just behind the ball, so this will be checked by VAR, but I don't think he's offside. But Zappacosta feeds a ball into the box. It's a really good cross, and Pasalic gets his right foot onto the ball, toe pokes it into the back of the net. It's 1-0 Atalanta, and as I said, I think this will get checked by VAR just to see whether or not Pasalic is behind the ball. But I think this will count, and Manchester United's defensive woes continue, and it is being checked by VAR. So we will see here whether or not the goal is going to be given. I think it will be. And the referee has pointed to the spot, and it stands. It's 1-0 to Atalanta. And I can officially update the screen now. And it is the perfect start for the Italians in a game which you've got to say for either team tonight is a must-win match. You win tonight's game and you have got a very good opportunity of putting yourself in a pretty decent position to get yourself through to the next stages of the Champions League. But we have had another goal in one of the games tonight, and it is in the game between Young Boys and Villarreal, and it is Villarreal who've scored courtesy of a set piece. It's one ball into the box, and I think it's going to go down as an own goal potentially for Young Boys in that match. So it's 2-0 to Villarreal on the night. I will see the replay probably a little bit better in a second. So it is a free kick put into the box, and it definitely will not go down as an own goal. I think it's a Gerard Moreno header, very good header, into the back of the net by the Spaniard. And far too easy for Villarreal, who are 2-0 to the good on the night in their game against Young Boys. And already you could probably say that game looking pretty much done and dusted. We've also got a penalty in the game between Chelsea and Malmo, and it is a foul on Romelu Lukaku. I mean, he's absolutely hacked down in the box. I think the referee could maybe pull out a red card. He's not going to pull out a red card. He pulls out a yellow card. I think it's Andreas Christensen, the captain of Malmo, that's gone in with a tackle there. But referee's given the penalty, and a chance just maybe here for Chelsea to take a nice 2-0 lead early on in their game against Malmo. So we will see what happens there in a moment. But Rowan said, what's happened to United? Defensive woes as always, Rowan. The same as kind of always, isn't it, really? Not really a good night, is it, so far for Man U? But we are going to have that penalty in a moment in the Chelsea game, which we'll talk through in a moment. Lukaku just hobbling a little bit after the foul. I think that should have been a red card, if I'm being honest with you. And Winvow agrees. He thinks it should be a red card as well. I mean, Romelu Lukaku right now, he's hobbling quite heavily, which kind of tells you the extent of the foul which was kind of placed on him. So Lukaku's not going to take the penalty. It's going to be Jorginho who steps up. We'll find out if he scores it in a moment. But Chris saying, much needed win for Cross. He was defending money and ranking points. He bloody needed to make at least the quarters or the semis. And fair play to him for winning the whole thing. But Chelsea going to step up to the spot here. Jorginho places the ball down. Big chance here for 2. As Lukaku is back on the pitch, but he's hobbling very heavily. Wouldn't be surprised here if Lukaku doesn't stop hobbling the next couple of minutes. They maybe take him off and bring on someone like a Havertz up top and rest him. Going to stop for a second though, because Ronaldo's in the box here for United. On the right hand side, dinks the ball into the box. Comes towards Bruno. Fred takes it down. Fred takes the shot on, and it's a good save from Musso, who tips it over the bar and out of play for a corner. Really good chance there for Manchester United to get an equaliser, as we're still waiting for the penalty to be taken by Chelsea. And it's put in. It is 2-0 to Chelsea on the night against Malmo. And just like the Villarreal game, I think you could say that game is pretty much done and dusted. 2-0. Very comfortable against the Swedish side. And I think that will be all 3 points in the bag as Manchester United whip this corner in. Luke Shaw lobs it in. It's going to come to the edge of the box to Rashford. Now it's with Fred, who's going to play it to Shaw. He tries to dummy the ball towards Greenwood. And in the end, I don't think Greenwood got a touch on the ball. And it goes out of play for a goal kick. So 1-0 between Atalanta and Manchester United. 20 minutes on the clock in that game. Long, long way to go. But it's very, very easy right now for Atalanta to get through on goal. And it's very worrying, I think, for Manchester United with the way that this has started. Chris saying Steve beaten at the United game tonight. Interesting to see. Then again, he's not too far away from Barnsley, is it, to be fair? I'm just going to try and sort out my stream. There we go. Should be all good. As Man United going to come forward here. Ronaldo at the edge of the box. Bruno takes the shot on from the edge of the box. It's headed away by Martin Darun. Not comfortably cleared away. Although Coop Miners has got the ball. And now there might be a chance here for Atalanta to hit on the break. It's going to be Pasalic, the goal scorer, on the left-hand side. And my stream has gone back. Give me 2 seconds here. What I might have to do is just very quickly put the game on the full screen. There we go. That sorts that. And we'll just keep you up to date with the goals as they go in and not really have to speak about them anyway. So we'll do that, and then at least I shouldn't have any more problems with the connections of the streams. So Ronaldo plays the ball into Bruno. Into Rashford. Closed down by Zappacosta. Very good defending from Zappacosta tonight, who so far has been very, very good in this game. Here's Fred. Into McTominay at the edge of the box. About 30 yards out. Lays it into Wan-Bissaka. Tries to whip the ball in the box. It's going to come back to Wan-Bissaka again, and it's this time deflected by Palomino. Out of play. I think for a throw-in. And it is a wave of Manchester United attacks that are starting to put pressure on Atalanta, as it has been given as a corner to United. So another chance here. No, it's not. It's a throw-in. I was right the first time. I thought I was. What can Man United do here? It's going to be Luke Shaw on the left-hand side. 5 shots, 1 on target so far for Man United. 2 shots, 1 on target for Atalanta. Of course, the most important stat is the 1 goal that's been scored by Atalanta, courtesy of Mario Pasalic. Will we see another goal in the next 20 minutes before the end of the first half? Bruno Fernandes with another long-range effort, deflected by Palomino. It's going to come back to United again on the left-hand side with Rashford. Tries to take on Martin Darun. Crosses the ball into the box towards Ronaldo. It's headed away by Palomino again. And it'll come back to Manchester United, who are starting in these last couple of minutes to really get hold of the possession of this game. Ronaldo into Bruno Fernandes, he's just inside the box on the left wing. Crosses a ball into the box, but it's deflected by Merih Demiral and out for a corner. And Daz asks us in the chat, here's a question for you in the chat. Who do you think will get the Newcastle United job? I will talk through that in a second. We'll see what happens here with the corner. But I'll talk through that because that's a very interesting talking point while we've got a little bit of dead time in the game. But corner for Manchester United. It would be perfect timing here for them to put the ball in the back of the net. It's going to be played short to Rashford. He's going to go for the long-range effort, but it's deflected by Ilicic. And really good defending from the Slovenian forward. Just knew that Rashford was going to try and hit it from long range. And in the end, it's a real waste of an opportunity for the English winger. But what I will say about the Bruce and the Newcastle debacle is that I personally think that Fonseca will get the job. He seems to be the favourite, alongside Eddie Howe, Lampard. I think Lucien Favre as well, I think, is another one who is in a position to get the job. But I would love to see Fonseca. I think him at Spurs would have been good. He would have played a bit more of attacking football, what Spurs fans really want to see. But I also think what he'll do at Newcastle is, I wouldn't say he's a massive name manager. He's not really going to be a manager who's going to be bringing big names at first. I think that is going to be something which Newcastle will have to work over time to build themselves as a big reputation club. But I'm going to have to stop for a second again because United are in again. It's Ronaldo at the edge of the box. He's going to go towards the near post. He takes the shot on and it's straight into the hands of Juan Musso. Very, very simple save for the Argentine, who, I've got to say, although United have had a fair few opportunities to come forward, he's not really had anything to do in terms of big opportunities, if I say so myself. But going back to the point I was saying before, I think Fonseca will get it. I think they want to get that big name manager in. Even though I literally just said he wasn't a big name manager, I think he's a much bigger named manager than Steve Bruce is. But I know a couple of you guys are saying in the chat maybe Lampard would be a nice shout. Winvow saying that. I think Lampard would be a decent shout to go there, but I think they want to... It's so hard to say why they wouldn't want Lampard, because I think Lampard would be a decent fit for Newcastle. But I think they probably wouldn't take him because he's not had enough time in the game. I don't know. I mean, Chris saying maybe Eddie Howe plays good football, while Newcastle fans were howling at the moon like a wolf about. Yeah, I think Eddie Howe as well is another favourite for the job. I think he's someone who would be a good fit for the club. A manager who's been out of the game for a long time, so it's not like he's just had a job and he'll not be interested. I think having that kind of 12-month honeymoon period out of football, it is good sometimes, just rejigs the mind, focuses the managers, gets them ready to go and manage a club again. You know, you've only got to look at, for example, Allegri, Juve, who had about 12 months, maybe even more than that out. And I think he'd be a very good fit. DJ is saying, Ola United losing again. They are indeed. Not a good night so far for Man United. Carl saying Conte would be a good fit. Yeah, I think Conte would be a good fit, but I just don't see Conte wanting to go there. I think, again, if Conte was to ever go there, Newcastle would need to improve their reputation as a top-tier club for any manager of a high calibre. Zidane's. Oh, stop for a second! Hold that thought! Hold it! Because Atalanta are 2 to the good from a corner, from nothing again. Atalanta are 2 to the good. And it's Merih Demiral, the man who I said has had a brilliant night so far at the back. He's having a brilliant night up front because he absolutely puts in a sumptuous ball. Whoever it was who put the ball in, put a sumptuous ball into the path of Merih Demiral. And I'm just trying to see, I think it was Josip Ilicic. Lovely cross towards the near post. And Merih Demiral, he rises highest. He's up against Harry Maguire and Shaw. It is a superb header from the centre-back who is on loan from Juventus. And there is no way David De Gea is going to save that. That is a brilliant, brilliant finish from Demiral. And Manchester United are 2-0 down, and Gasparini, a little fist pump. I think he knows there's a long way to go in this game, but a little fist pump, and he knows that Manchester United are in a whole heap of trouble here. We are about, 30 minutes into this game? And Manchester United 2-0 down to Atalanta. I mean, I'm not a Manchester United fan myself, so I can sit here and, enjoy the game as a neutral, as we always do on the channel. But, I mean, I've got to ask any Man United fan in the building right now, you've got to tell me what's going on with United. I haven't watched many of United's games this season, so I couldn't really possibly tell you what's gone on with United. I'm not going to sit there and say I'm an expert. But what's going on? Because I'm going to stop for a second, because Bruno's in here and then tries to pass to absolutely no one. And Atalanta clear again. But it has been a woeful season so far for Man United. Just don't seem to be able to get anything going. And the pressure, of course, building on Ole. And we're only half an hour in here, and I wonder how many fans are screaming Ole out after 30 minutes on the clock. But looking at a couple of your comments, I'm just going to very quickly see if we've had any more goals. We haven't, no. So no other goals in the other games so far. But Chris saying no way an elite manager will go to Newcastle and manage that current squad. Saying that need to live with the birds in Narnia. Well, yeah, I agree with you, Chris. I think there's a long, long way to go before Newcastle get a top tier manager. You could look at Fonseca and say he's a good manager, but he's not in the ultimate elite tier of managers. Your Contes, your Zidanes, your Simeones, those types of managers. Carl saying same old team, same old crap, sick of it. Winbow saying Ole out. And then Bernardo's in the building. How are we doing, Bernardo? You're good, mate. He says, Lampard will be a good appointment. It will help his career. He has good experience and money. Will be there to spend at a mid-level range or criteria. Once Newcastle hit a top 6 position, maybe they stick with Lampard or make a move for a higher caliber manager. I feel like that's what they're doing. I feel regardless of whoever comes in, whether it be a Howe, whether it be a Fonseca, whether it be Favre, I do personally think they are going to be there to steer the ship. Maybe be there for a year or two, kind of like an interim manager role without it being an interim manager job. And I think they will wait and hope that the club builds itself up to become the next big kind of Man City, Chelsea type club. And then go for a big manager. But as Chris said, rightly so, I think it'll be a long time before we see a top tier manager at Newcastle. At the end of the day, they're not even safe yet. They've got to make sure that they actually survive this season in the Premier League before we even speak about bringing in world-class signings and things like that. You can't... I mean, City, fair dues, they did it this way, but I don't think Newcastle could buy themselves into it instantly. Especially... they've got, 2 months before the window opens? They could still be in the bottom 3 in 2 months. That's when it will just be about survival, rather than spending, £100 million on 4 players and bolstering the squad. You just want to make sure that you survive, and then you can go on a big spending spree in summer. But I'll say now, good Josh, you're right. I'm very good, thank you. As I said before, for anybody that has jumped in a little bit late into the stream, we do apologise that we haven't had many watch-alongs on the channel over the last couple of months. If you've kept up to date with us on our social media, which is in the description as always, you'll know we've had a few connection problems with Wi-Fi and things like that. Now, I'm very blessed that my Wi-Fi is in a much better position than some of the other guys are, so you'll probably see a lot more of me and Rowan on the channel for the next couple of weeks and months. But do tell me in the chat, has there been any connection issues so far, any lag or anything? Because if not, then I think we're in a very, very good position for streaming in the future. But we've just had to sort those problems out. We've had a couple of teething issues, but I think now those are sorted, we should be able to continue doing streams on the channel again. Which is good, because we've got darts coming up, we've got more Champions League games, we've got the Europa League, which unfortunately I'm not going to be able to do tomorrow. I was going to do a nighttime stream for it, but we are out busy, unfortunately. But yeah, there will be watch-alongs back on the channel again, but maybe not as many as unfortunately we had before, because there's not going to be as many of us to do it. I don't think, as I said, we're going to have both the key runs as much because of Wi-Fi issues, which is very, very frustrating for us. But just looking at the other scores across the games tonight, it has been a fairly quiet night in a couple of the games this evening. Zenit Juventus still 0-0 as it stands. That one is about 35 minutes into the game. In terms of the actual stats of the match, if you wonder with the Zenit Juventus game, as you would probably expect with both of the sides, it's actually been a better game from Zenit so far. They've had the only shot on target in the game, 3 corners as well for Zenit, so not looking too bad from the Russians. Juventus have got a long, long way to go though in that match, plenty of time to go and score a goal. Obviously Chelsea 2-0 to the good against Malmo. Early goals in the game from Christensen and Jorginho. As you would expect, they are dominating that match quite comfortably. Talk about domination. Was a chance for Pasalic to get Atalanta forward. He's given the ball away. Man United trying to hit on the break with Rashford. Rashford and Ronaldo trying to work together on the left-hand side, but unfortunately, it doesn't come to anything. And my stream's just gone slightly back, so I'm seeing that Rashford move forward again, so I'm just going to change it very quickly. Here's Ronaldo in the box. Going to go alone here, Ronaldo. Scuffed his shot. And he's calling for a penalty in the box. Didn't really see much in the tackle, to be honest with you. Need to see that again with a replay, but his shot was scuffed. And nah, I don't think there's much in that for that to be given as a penalty. It's Demiral who's the man who's gone in. And yeah, there's nothing in that to be given that as a penalty whatsoever. It was just Ronaldo who was off balance there. And there will be no calls for a penalty from the referee. So play will continue with 10 minutes to go. 2-0 still to Atalanta as Tubbs is in the building. How are we doing, my friend? Good to see you, mate. He's made it to a stream. You have indeed. Hope you're all good as always, Tubbs. Long time no see. Hopefully, as I said, touch wood, we've sorted the Wi-Fi problems out. We should be back. I think the next stream, potentially, might be on Sunday. And it could be El Clasico. So if you're a big fan of El Clasico, then that might be on, as there's a long ball to Ronaldo here. He's inside the box, and in the end the flag has gone up for offside. And Cristiano Ronaldo again. It's not been his best night so far, has it? He's had a couple of glimpses where he has gone for own goal. But unfortunately, nothing really coming from CR7 so far in this game. And I'm not going to pin the blame on him, because I think you could say the entire team so far has been very poor so far in the game between Atalanta. And you would expect that to change fairly soon, wouldn't you? Between Man United losing this game and at least maybe getting a goal before half-time. Tubbs has asked, how are you all, lads? Missed you guys. I'm good. I'm doing very good indeed. As I said, been dying to do a watch-along for ages on the channel. But we just had so many problems with the Wi-Fi. I'm all sorted now. So we're all good to keep going now. So expect a lot of watch-alongs from me for the next couple of months. But the other lads are all good. They're all fine. As I said, just maybe won't see as many of the lads on the streams as much as we did over the last couple of months beforehand. Pre-COVID, post-COVID, when we had all the watch-alongs going up, because they've had a few internet problems themselves. But apart from that, I'm all good. I can keep streaming and finally get to use the actual kind of, don't know what you can really call it, the overlay for the stream. I've been dying to use this for a long time, so it's nice that I can actually use these on the stream now. Tubbs saying, buying a crap. How's that game been going so far, Tubbs? Because I expected it to be quite an interesting game, that one. Obviously, Benfica coming off the back of a 3-0 win against Barca is something to scream and shout about. But I would have expected Bayern to have probably won that. Not comfortably, but probably maybe 2 or more goals. Which for Bayern is usually fairly comfortable, isn't it, really? Winval's best Champions League kit. Ooh, do you know what? I'd have to answer that question the next time we're live, Winval, because I'd have to probably go and look at all the kits and really look through them to see which one's the best. I can't say I've really, if I'm honest with you, taken notice of the kits. So the next time we're live with the UCL, I'll have to tell you what I personally think in terms of what the best kit is. But Atalanta are going to come forward again here. It's going to be Ilicic. Into Zappacosta on the right wing. And Atalanta just going to slow it down. Only 5 more minutes of the first half left. They seem quite happy to go in at the break with a 2-0 lead, and rightly so. They have been very good so far in this game, as you would expect them to be. And I've got to say, I don't know what Man United do, if I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how they get back into this game, unless they get one before half-time. Tub saying Darwin Núñez has been running soul-ragged. Oh dear. Very good player though, isn't he, Darwin Núñez? Here come Man United though. It's going to be Bruno Fernandes on the right wing. Tries to flick a ball into the box. There is a slight deflection off of Martin de Roon, which just gets it into the path of Juan Musso. And again, another chance for Man United to come forward, which is scuffed. Although saying that, they've got a chance to come forward here again. Scuffed tackle from Foyle is giving the ball back here to Mason Greenwood. It's going to be played to McTominay. He feeds the ball to Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side, just outside of the box. Plays it towards Rashford, whose touch. His first touch is really poor. And Man United here just need to make the most of the last 5 minutes of this first half, because going to the break at 2-1 and you make things interesting. Going to the break at 2-0, and I'm pretty safe to say that Old Trafford is going to have a lot of people booing in about 5 minutes' time, as frustration begins to build with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. As Russ is in the building. How are we doing, Russ? Good to see everybody coming back tonight. Good to see everybody as always. Hope you're good as always, Russ. Hope everything's been going well with the commentary hub. As Atalanta are going to come forward again. It's going to be ball to Zappacosta on the right hand side. Into Pasalic. Now into Ilicic on the right wing. Plays the ball to Koopmeiners, is about 35 yards out. Muriel at the edge of the box. Goes for the shot. And it's straight into the hands of David De Gea. And well, he didn't really have anybody around him, Muriel, so he had the right to go for the long-range effort. But there wasn't really enough power on the shot to test the Spaniard. As there's a ball here to Rashford. Flag's not down. Rashford's in on goal here. And that is a quality tackle from Demiral. And in the end, I think the flag has gone up for offside. But what a first-half performance this is from Merih Demiral. And in fact, the flag didn't go up. He was onside Rashford. But what an incredible tackle from the Turkish centre-back. I mean, in the end, he's absolutely gambling on the fact that he gets a touch on the ball. And my word, does he get a touch. And the reaction from the Turk is as if he scored the goal. And just like that, Merih Demiral, who's already scored in the game with a quality moment to keep Manchester United from scoring before half-time. Apparently, as Russ has rightly just said, we do have a goal in the game between Benfica and Bayern Munich. And as you can see, he's celebrating in the chat, as you would expect him to. That man who just can't seem to stop scoring. Robert Lewandowski, who else? Finally puts the ball into the back of the net. Bayern Munich 1-0 to the good against Benfica. It's been a fairly tough 45 minutes so far for Bayern. But apparently the goal's been disallowed. Is it 0-0? The answer is yes. Change that back to 0-0, Josh, because Lewandowski's goal has been scrapped. It's been disallowed and it's ruled out. And Robert Lewandowski will not have his goal in the game yet. It's going to be 0-0. And it looks like at half-time, Benfica are just going to survive a little scare from Bayern Munich. And very, very nervy indeed, isn't it, right now for them? Of course, Benfica will be hoping they can come out of that game with a point. Or more. They could easily get more. And looks like at the break they'll get at least a point on the board, potentially. As we're into the last minute and a half here of the game between United and Atalanta, probably not going to be much additional time. As there's going to be a chance here for Fred. He's inside the box. Lovely work from Fred. He's going all the way and he should have scored. And that was the chance for Manchester United to turn the game on its head. And it was a moment of brilliance from Fred up until the finish. And it was lovely football from United. He gets into the box, Fred. He just gets past Palomino when he tries to curl the ball in the middle of the box into the bottom left-hand corner. And it's just a whisker away from going through. And that was the opportunity for Man United to get the goal back at half-time. And you can see, if you're watching the game, the frustrations from Cristiano Ronaldo. I think he knows that should have probably gone into the back of the net as we enter the last minute of the first half between Man United and Atalanta. And we haven't had many goals of the night so far. In fact, there isn't even a single game where both teams have scored yet. But I don't think we'll get much additional time in this one. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of boos in about 15 seconds for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I know that's been the big talking point, hasn't it, over the last couple of weeks with Ole, whether it should be in or out. I think Gary Neville backing his friend, which he's rightly going to do. But there's going to be a minute of additional time, so 1 minute left of the game. And you can see, well, we just spoke about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You can see how frustrated he is on the touchline. He knows that he's going to have to deliver some team talk to get Manchester United back into this game, or else Thursday nights could be back on the cards again. Not what Man United fans want to see, especially considering Villarreal are winning their game against Young Boys, which would really make this group wide open. Here's Greenwood though on the right hand side, plays the ball to Bruno, who tries to dig a ball into the box, slight deflection, which is giving it back to Atalanta, and Bruno having to come all the way to left back here to get the ball. And I'm pretty sure unless he gets this ball hoofed up the pitch, which he does. Oh, there's a mistake at the back. No, he's been given away. Rashford hits the bar. And it's another chance before the end of the first half for Manchester United to get the ball back. And again, it was just out of nothing. And this time, it's an Atalanta mistake. Bruno Fernandes with the long ball. I think it's Palomino who goes to clear the ball. He doesn't get anything on it. And Marcus Rashford, who I think has got to do better in that situation, hits the bar, and that is half-time at Old Trafford. Well. I think you can hear a few boos if you're listening along with the game, but this is a massive 15 minutes required from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He needs a team talk and a half because Manchester United are 2-0 down at the break against Atalanta. And look, they've played really well tonight, Atalanta. You expect them to go out there and attack, and that's what they do. They just go forward. They don't worry about defending at the back because they know as a team, they are the type of team which will score more than their opponents. They're very reminiscent of the Klopp Liverpool when he first joined, where they would just score so many goals and concede 2, 3, 4 a match, but just score 5 or 6. And that's what they've done so far. And even then, I don't think they've massively been tested at the back, apart from those 2 late chances by Fred and Rashford. And when you look at the stats of the game, 5 shots on target for Atalanta, 9 shots, 2 on target for United. They don't need possession, Atalanta. They've got 2 players up top of supreme quality that can put the ball in the back of the net. And the first goal actually came from Mario Pasalic, who is the number 10 for them in the team. It was just a lovely ball from Zappacosta on the right wing towards Pasalic on the near post. Gets a simple touch on the ball, rolls it past De Gea, and a very simple finish for the Croatian. And then the second goal, we saw it not too long ago. Merck Demiral, brilliant performance he's had so far. Man of the match by a country mile. Just a lovely ball into the box. I think it was from Pasalic actually rather than Ilicic. Really good header from the Turkish centre-back. David De Gea wasn't going to save it. And that put Atalanta 2-0 to the good. And, well, as I said, what do Man United do at half-time? We'll go and have a look at the team. You can see on the bench they've got Sancho, they've got Cavani, they've got Pogba. I don't see Ole making any changes straight away. I think he would give it 10, 15, 20 minutes before bringing on any of the plays in the game. But the Man United fans, they're going to expect a lot. They are going to expect a hell of a lot out of this Man United team in the second half because the way that the group stands right now, Man United sit bottom of Group F on 3 points. Young Boys in third, also on 3 points. They are losing to Villarreal as it stands 2-0. Villarreal in second on 4 points. And then Atalanta, because they're winning, they are top of the group on 7. The worries are going to build for Man United. They have still got to play Villarreal again, which I think will be a very, very tough game, especially now Villarreal starting to get back on form again. And that Young Boys match could be the key decider of who makes it into the Europa League. So there's a lot of pressure for Man United to get a point minimum in this game, or else they could find themselves in a very, very dire position in a couple of weeks' time, and maybe sat talking about not even making Thursday night football, depending on what happens in the next in this game and the other 2 games. Tubbs did ask, is Demiral on loan from Juve? He is, yeah, and fair play to him, because he's putting in a performance which Juve will definitely be watching and keeping their eyes out on. You know, Chiellini's not got long left at Juve before he retires, and I think Demiral, they're definitely putting in a ones to watch performance, I would say so myself. But before we talk about the rest of the games, as you can see, the scores at half time, we'll talk about those in a moment. If you are new to the stream, as always, don't forget to leave a like and subscription on the channel. Yes, we haven't had many streams for the last couple of weeks, and that is, of course, because of a few internet problems that we've been having. But we are back now, and me and Rowan, probably the more likely to be doing a lot of watch-alongs on the channel over the next few weeks and months, as we've got better internet connections than the rest of the guys, so kind of expect us to really be holding the channel up over the next few months. But if you do want to see when we are live and what we do and when we do it, and you want to see our social media links, they're in the chat. Thanks to Carl, as always, absolute legend, for putting them in the chat. They are also in the description, as always. Our Twitter, where we always post when we go live, is @the_top corner. Our Instagram is _sportscorner_. We don't use that as much, but I'm trying eventually to see if I can get around to using it a little bit more than I have been. As I said, it's always a nightmare to use them without... well, it's just a nightmare, isn't it? Trying to get everything on social media at the same time. But if you want to go and follow it, it is in the description always. And then our website is thesports-corner.com, hopefully using that a little bit more in the future. If you want to check it out, then the link is in the description, as always. Let's talk about the other games. 6 other games going on tonight. And not really many goals in them. Well, in fact, when we look at them, there's only been 4 goals in the rest of the matches tonight. And 2 of them have come in the Chelsea game, and 2 of them have come in the Villarreal match. So we'll start off with the Chelsea game first, and we'll just quickly talk through that. Of course, Chelsea 2-0 up against Malmo tonight, in cruise control of that game. They've had 73% possession, 11 shots, 4 on target. And as you guys have been saying in the chat, they have made changes in the game. Werner and Lukaku have both come off. They've brought on Hudson-Odoi and Havertz. So rightly resting players up, no doubt. We said earlier, of course, he was hobbling Lukaku at one point. So the right thing probably to do is bring him off and keep him safe for any of the games. But yeah, simple result tonight for Chelsea. Could see a couple more goals going in that one. Malmo, as we said, haven't actually scored a goal yet in the Champions League. It looks like they're going to finish the group on 0 points with the way that is panning out. So good result for them. Villarreal Young Boys, again, another game where it's been... a little bit more even. Young Boys have had 7 shots, none on target. Villarreal, they've had 3 shots on target, 2 goals. First goal coming from Yeremy Pino. It was a very simple finish at the near post from the Spanish forward. A very good ball into the box from Pedraza. Really nice assist. And then Gerard Moreno with a lovely header into the back of the net to make it 2-0 after 17 minutes. But again, Villarreal in cruise control of that game, looking very likely that they're going to... finish the night with 3 extra points on the board in Group F. And then the other games, of course, the ones that are 0-0. Lille-Sevilla. Now, looking at the stats of this game, I don't know how this one is still 0-0. There's been 7 shots on target in the game. 5 for Sevilla, 2 for Lille. And it looks like a very even match. Sevilla have had more possession. They've had 61% of the ball, but Lille seem to be doing a lot in terms of when they do have the ball, making the most of the possession that they have. And as I said, so far, that one is somehow still 0-0. Pretty sure that's probably not going to stay 0-0 for much longer. with the way that game is panning out. Of course, they're in Group G, which, as it stands, both Sevilla and Lille do need to get some points on the board to make sure that they are in pole position to make it through in second place. Salzburg running riot in that group. Fair play to them. Benfica Bayern in Group E. Again, Tubbs obviously watching that one. He said Bayern hasn't been great so far. Lewandowski with a disallowed goal in the 40th minute of the game. Apart from that, Benfica have had 3 shots, 2 on target. Bayern Munich 3 shots, 8 shots, 3 on target. Apologies, but not scored yet. And with the way that group is panning out, of course, if Benfica do get a point, they will be on 5 points in second place. Bayern Munich would be on 7 points in first place. It would make things very, very interesting for whether or not Barcelona could even make it out of that group, or whether we have a real chance of Barcelona dropping down to the Europa League. I mean, it is unbelievable to even fathom Barcelona dropping down to the Europa League. But if Benfica do get something tonight, whether it be a point or 3, there is a real chance Barcelona do not make it to the Champions League knockout stages, which is bonkers. But yeah, that one's so far 0-0, long way to go in that game, no doubt. And then the last game, Zenit against Juventus. Zenit actually looking the better of the two sides. They've had the better opportunities in the games. They've had the only 2 shots on target in the match as well. Juventus with the most possession in the game, but they've not really done much with it so far. 5 shots, none on target, and a pretty quiet night for Juventus so far. So that is how everything is panning out at half time. The real question is, are we on course for a belter of a 45 minutes in the second half between Manchester United and Atalanta? We'll have to see in a second. But Tubbs asked, how are the other lads doing? They're all good. They're very good indeed. As I said, they're a little bit disappointed that I can't do any watch-alongs on the channel. As we said, we wanted to get loads of watch-alongs going when we first got down here. But Wi-Fi, as I said, has been an absolute nightmare for us. As I said, I'm all good to go now. Me and Rowan are fine. The other lads, you might see them from time to time, but I don't think you'll see them as much as what we had before, which is a shame. But as I said, I think expect me and possibly Rowan to do a lot of the watch-alongs on the channel over the next couple of months. I know the A-League is back fairly soon, November, December time, so whether Rowan does the A-League watch-alongs again, we'll have to see whether he brings that back or not. But we are going to have a potential look at some of the watch-alongs to come up very soon. El Clasico, maybe on Sunday, that could be a watch-along that we do potentially. But for now, I haven't really got specific watch-alongs because this was kind of a tester tonight to see whether or not the Wi-Fi could hold up, and hold up it has, which is very good indeed. But what I'm going to do is we'll just take a short minute or two's break, just a quick toilet break for everybody, or drinks break, or whatever you want to do. I'll be back in literally about 2 minutes, and then we'll talk about the second half coming up between Manchester United and Atalanta. There's a long way to go in this game. Man United need to pull off a comeback and a half if they want to get anything in this match. 2-0 at half time. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Welcome back everyone to the second half. Manchester United, Atalanta, where have you been if you haven't watched the first half of the action? It has been a brilliant game for the neutral, maybe not if you're a Manchester United fan because they are 2-0 down at half time. What has Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said at half time? Has he given in his P45? Is he giving up? It kind of feels like it. Yeah, it's not been good, has it, for Manchester United? The fans, they have made it clear they're not a fan of him right now. He has been booed at half-time. But the fans are going to need to back him and their team because there is a long, long way to go in this game. 45 minutes left of the match. And he's trying to get the crowd cheered up, as you would expect him to. He's doing a Simeone. He's cheering the crowd up as the players are about to come out for the second half. We are going to see a change from Atalanta. Lovato, not Demi Lovato, the singer. Lovato's coming on in a second. We'll see who it's for in just a moment's time. I think it's Demiral has come off. Apparently he was hobbling slightly at the back end of the match. But what a brilliant, brilliant first half it was for Demiral. He will remember that first half for a long time because he absolutely bossed it against Manchester United. But no changes for Manchester United at half-time. The one change for Atalanta. We've got the other games, of course, still going in the background tonight. Chelsea 2-0 up against Malmo. Villarreal 2-0 up as well against Young Boys. No other goals to speak about in the other games right now. But I'm going to say, just before the second half starts, once again, if you are watching live, try not to spoil anything in the chat tonight. I am about a minute and a half behind. So please try not to spoil anything because I don't really want to hear about a Manchester United goal before it's even gone in on my screen as we get underway. Well, Old Trafford has been a home of some brilliant, brilliant UCL nights. You know, the PSG one is certainly a favourable match of the past. It's been home to some brilliant games against the likes of Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. But is it going to be another classic UCL night? They need to score 2 goals minimum to get the point, and a desperate point it would be in the fight to get out of Group F in the Champions League. As Peter Raymond joins us in the building. How are we, Peter? Good to see you as always, my friend. Good to see you as always. Russ saying, hope uni's going good for you all. It's going very good so far. Been a bit, not really in much to be honest with you, but it's very, very nice indeed. And then Tom saying, genuinely gassed that I joined this watch along. It has been too long. It has. It's felt like ages. And don't worry, because as I said, we are going to try and get a couple more watch alongs going, depending on what's happening with my personal life. Sunday, there might be a watch along for El Clasico, and that will be a bloody good game to watch. So that is 3:15 on Sunday, so we'll be live back 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon. And then there should be potentially some watch-alongs maybe midweek as well. But again, it all depends on personal life. It is a little bit more busier than what it was last year. Now COVID is... what I'm saying now, COVID's gone. It's not gone, has it? As it looks like Edison Cavani is already getting either changed to come on or just going through a very heavy warm-up routine. Because it looks like he's probably going to be the first player to come on. Who is Ole going to take off? Big decision to make there. You know, he's not going to take a midfielder off and play 4 up top. So it's one of either Rashford, Ronaldo or Greenwood that's going to come off. And I think it's probably going to be Greenwood. No, Rashford. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. As Chris says, good to hear Peter as well. As Ronaldo's in here. Chance for Ronaldo. Good save from Musso. Comes back out to Rashford. And, well, I mean, that's just poor from Rashford. But Ronaldo, he looks to the heavens. And he asks, why has that not gone into the back of the net? It was a lovely opportunity. It was a good pass from Bruno right into the middle of the box to Ronaldo. And, you know, usually CR7 would bury that into the back of the net 9 times out of 10. But Juan Musso just makes himself big, gets his arms out, and in the end, it's a pretty simple... I'm not going to say simple save. It hits his chest in the end, Musso, but a big chance there to get that nice early goal on the board for Manchester United and try and see if that comeback could happen at Old Trafford. Still stays 2-0 for now. As Russ says, Gary Lineker is presenting El Clasico on Sunday. He is. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a very, very exciting game considering it's going to be a much even match. But I'm going to stop for a second because we have had another goal in one of the games tonight, and it is in one of the games that's already had goals in it. Chelsea, they're now 3-0 to the good against Malmo. We said we expected a couple more goals to go in that game, and there has been an early goal in the second half. Kai Havertz with the goal in the 48th minute. So nice early goal in the second half, and as I said, Chelsea in a very, very comfortable position to get all 3 points on the board in their match, which, depending on the result in the Juventus Zenit game, could be a very good 3 points, because that one is still 0-0 as it stands. So if Chelsea do get 3 points on the board and Zenit don't capitalise, then it will put Chelsea back in the driving seat for the group potentially. Here comes Manchester United though in our game, our featured game of the night. It's going to be Mason Greenwood on the right hand side, plays it into Bruno, who feeds it back to Greenwood. Bruno at the edge of the box, tries to dink a ball towards Ronaldo. It's going to come back to Bruno again, who plays it on the right hand side to Wan-Bissaka. He's going to take on the defenders at the back, but good defending by Joachim Mæhle. And I think he's gone out for a corner. And it could be an opportunity maybe for Manchester United to get an early goal from the set piece. We saw a set piece scored at this end of the pitch in the first half when Damiral hit one into the back of the net half an hour in. Corner lobbed in. It's going to come to the edge of the box. Rashford with the volley, but, well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Rashford gets taken off here, because that's another shot that is completely wayward. Really, really poor effort there from Rashford. Good first touch, but completely nowhere near goal, unfortunately, for him. Peter saying in the chat, Newcastle should give Graham Jones the job till the end of the season as caretaker. Chris saying, I disagree, Peter. Having him till the end of the season is curtain leading. A curtain, and you can confirm relegation for Newcastle if he's still in charge at the end of the season. As I said earlier, I don't think Newcastle owners would stick with him till the end of the season. I think they do want to get a decentish named manager to come in and take kind of an interim manager style position without it being an interim job. But I'm going to stop for a second because there's a long ball here to Bruno Fernandes on the right wing. He dinks the ball into the box. It's a pretty poor cross. And Victor Lindelof has absolutely murdered someone there with just a shoulder slam. And I'm surprised the referee's not given a yellow card there to Lindelof. I mean, he's absolutely bodied Muriel there. He's gone down to the floor and quite clearly clattered into him with clear intent and gets nothing for it. Unless the referee's given a yellow card, which he hasn't. I'm surprised Lindelof has not gone into the book there. I wouldn't even call it a tactical foul. I thought it was just a really, really bad tackle. Or at least shoulder barge is probably the better word than a tackle. Chris saying Newcastle have the money also to get a Phase 1 appointment like Fonseca. Yeah, and that's another reason. They've got money now, so they don't have to sit there and think, well, who can we get? You know, if it was Mike Ashley, we'd be talking about, I don't know, we wouldn't be really talking about these types of names. We'd be looking at managers like Sam Allardyce and things like that. Always typically goes down a fairly cheap route in terms of the managers that he used to get. But I'm going to stop for a second because there's a lovely ball here to Rashford. He's inside the box on the left wing. What can Rashford do? Can he put it in? And just like that, game on. And the Old Trafford fans are in ruptures because Marcus Rashford, who has probably about 4 or 5 shots in this game, finally gets the one shot that's on target and it's in the back of the net. And could it be the night at Old Trafford, another classic night for Manchester United, because they've got a goal about 7 minutes into the second half. And you're just starting to feel maybe here, Atalanta, the pressure's beginning to build. And it's a lovely ball from Bruno Fernandes. Plays it into Rashford inside the box on the left wing. He takes a good first touch and just slides it into the far left-hand corner. It's a brilliant finish under pressure from Rashford. And as I said, look, he had a couple of opportunities earlier which he did miss. You could have easily said, it wouldn't be his night tonight with the way that he'd played in terms of his chances. But that is the Marcus Rashford that Man United fans know and love. And it's 2-1 on the night. And that is the moment that the Man United fans have been waiting for. And it opens this game up completely with, about 40 minutes left on the clock. But credit to Bruno Fernandes. The vision and the instinct to play the ball into the path of Rashford is sublime. And that's why he's one of the best playmakers, if not, you could arguably say the best playmaker in the world. Thank you very much, Russ. I completely forgot to change it on the side. There we go. Let me change it. If it would let me save it. There we go. Now it says 2-1 on the left-hand side of your screen. Perfect. And we have a game on our hands. Ilicic, just outside of the box, tries to backheel towards Zappacosta. He goes down in the box. No calls for a penalty. But the atmosphere has become raucous at Old Trafford. A mood change, I think you could say. From the probably debugged, dejected fans in the first half have now certainly come to life in the second half of this game. And there is going to be a foul here, and he had a card. It's just come out here, I think. Was it the substitute who's just got into the book? I don't know. I'm going to have to check here and see whether or not... Yeah, Lovato have just gone into the book here for a foul on Ronaldo right at the edge of the box. And this could be a good opportunity to put the ball in the back of the net. Can they get this into the back of the net? Of course, there's only one man stood over this, Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo. He's literally outside the box as Duvan Zapata is going to come on for Luis Muriel. The top scorer, of course, for Atalanta here. Big change early on in the second half. But Cristiano Ronaldo is stood over this free kick. He's not in the middle of the box. I'd probably say it's more towards the far right-hand side. But it's in a good enough position to hit this at goal. And we know Ronaldo is the man who will hit this. So free kick about to be taken. This would bring the house down. Ronaldo hits it. And he hits it. And well, it wasn't... I wouldn't say it was the best free kick from Ronaldo. It was a spinning shot from him. Not really a great deal of power on it whatsoever. And in the end, it was always going wide of the mark. And unfortunately, again, no Ronaldo magic as of yet in this match. But it's brought the house down. But will Atalanta be able to hold on? As they are saying on the commentary, they look a little bit vulnerable in that first 10 minutes of the second half. They've just got to try and maybe get a foothold of the ball. Because again, there's going to be another foul here. And I think Pasalic this time is going to go into the book with the yellow card. And the pressure on the Italian side has just massively grown. And Pasalic goes into the book. That's what, 2 yellow cards in quick succession as Luke Shaw this time goes down. It's another card. And it's going to be Martin de Roon who goes into the book this time. And it's a yellow card frenzy from the Italians, who are starting to buckle under pressure here. And I feel very tempted to stick some money on Man United coming back in this game. I really do. I want to have a look at the odds to see how much it is for Man United to come back. So as it stands, 9-4 for Man U to come back, which is quite pretty shit odds to be honest with you. So I'm not even going to bother. But apparently Bayern Munich have just scored and it's been disallowed again. Oh dear. Free kick though for Manchester United. On the left wing this time, Luke Shaw crossing to the box, comes towards Maguire, who gets a connection on it. It's not a good connection and it's cleared away by Remo Freuler. It'll come back to Man United again. And the pressure is building as we have had another goal in one of the games tonight. And Chelsea are in a commanding 4-0 lead against Malmo. Good performance tonight from them. I'll find out who scored in a second. I'm going to stop because Man U coming forward here. Greenwood in the box. Whips it in. McTominay eats the post. And that was the chance for the equaliser for Manchester United. Big deflection on the cross towards McTominay. And now the fans are really giving it their all. They're backing their team as Bruno whips the ball into the box. Slight deflection, and it goes into the hands of Juan Musso. But what a chance for McTominay. As I said, it was a cross from Greenwood. Slight deflection on the ball, and so unlucky to have not made it 2-2 in the game. Of course, scored the winning goal for Scotland against Israel in the international fixtures about a week or two ago. And Gasperini, I think he's going to make a few more changes here for Atalanta because he knows they're under some pressure. And as Russ has said in the chat, it's Jorginho with a penalty. Thank you very much, Russ. 4-0 to Chelsea on the night now. Running riot. And as I said, wouldn't be surprised if there was a couple more goals in that one by the end of the game. But it's still 2-1 here to Atalanta. And as the time ticks down, are they going to have a chance to come forward here? Zapata with a cross in the box. Tries to get it towards the path of Ilicic and Pasalic. Neither of the two players get there. And just starting to see a little bit of the Atalanta attacking presence that we saw in the first half. Although Man United have got a throw-in. So I think that might have just killed off any pressure that the Italians were expected to bring. Although saying that, they've just got the ball back. Here's Freuler into Koopmeiners. Plays the ball onto the right-hand side. It's Zappacosta into Ilicic. Back to Zappacosta. Just getting that bit of possession now in the game. Calm it down slightly. But that's the thing. What do Atalanta do? We know them as a team that like to go forward and constantly attack no matter what the score is. But, you know, a couple of yellow cards in the last few minutes. I think 3 yellow cards in the space of 2 minutes. They just need to get a hold of the ball for a couple of minutes and calm it down, because the longer that this game goes on, the Man United fans, they're going to still believe, even to the last whistle in this game, that they can do something. And, of course, Cavani was actually on the touchline earlier, getting himself potentially ready to come on. So we will probably see him at some point get into this game. But how long is that going to be? As Atalanta come forward here, it's going to be Roma Frola. Into Mela. He's gone for a long-range effort, and well, I mean, that would have been probably the UCL goal of the season had that have gone in. And even Gasperini is saying, kind of, why have you taken the shot on there? I don't really think it's the time to be hitting long-range efforts when you are in a real tussle against Manchester United right now. Ball going to be played around the halfway line. Scores in the other games as it stands. Half an hour left of tonight's UCL action. 2 early games this evening played were Barcelona in a 1-0 win against Dinamo Kiev, their first goal in the Champions League this season, and a 3-1 win for Salzburg against Wolfsburg, which means that the Austrians only need a point to guarantee a spot in the next round. So not bad at all for Salzburg. And in terms of tonight's games, Benfica still 0-0 against Bayern. That could be a huge point in that group. If Benfica were to hold on, it could potentially kill off Barcelona's dreams of getting into the knockout stage of the Champions League even more. Of course, Bayern Munich already in a fairly decent position to go through to the next round anyway. Lost Lille somehow, still 0-0 against Sevilla. That game's had plenty of opportunities for both sides, but neither of the two teams have scored yet. We said, of course, Chelsea 4-0 up against Malmo. Good performance from them tonight, as expected. Zenit 0-0 against Juve. Be a great result for the Russians tonight if they could get something. A must win, I think you could say, or at least a game where they need a point, Zenit, to have any hopes of making it through to the knockout stages with Zenit. With Juventus, of course, already winning against Chelsea in their last match day. Put them in a good position. Of course, being at the top of the group in Group H. Chelsea tonight also getting another 3 points on the board as well. So it's a big one, isn't it, for Zenit there. And then finally, Villarreal in this group. Still 2-0 up against Young Boys. Again, good performance from Villarreal tonight. Not really had to do much whatsoever. And looking on course to get themselves into the top 2 of the group. But Russia said, you're a Rotherham fan, aren't you, if I remember correctly? I am indeed. Very happy with the Wickham result last night. But Rashford's in the box here. Going to play it to Luke Shaw. Dinks the ball towards the near post. No one there, and it's cleared away by Freuler. It's going to come back to Man United again. And it's going to be Harry Maguire. And I think Paul Pogba, I've just heard, might be coming on in a second. Bruno Fernandes into Ronaldo at the near post. Goes for the shot. Good save from Musso. And Atalanta, I think, trying to clear it away. They've not cleared it away yet. Not really got anybody to play the ball. Much power on the effort. But it's a fairly simple save for Juan Musso as Man United really starting to put all sorts of pressure on Atalanta. And it'll be Atalanta this time who look to come forward. The end game. And I think the Wi-Fi's just gone. We're saying if you visit New York Talk, the Rotherham podcast later, an interview with Kurt Broadfoot has gone, oh, that'd be a nice, interesting listen to. I'll have to see with that, see what comes from that. Should be very nice indeed. But Atalanta probably need another goal in this game, you feel. Pressure really is beginning to build on them. And you just wonder whether or not here a third goal will be needed in this game. Apologies if we are dropping any frames. It was inevitably going to happen. As Luke Shaw's just gone into the book with a yellow card. Can Man United get this game back on track? As I said, apologies if we drop frames there for a second. We should be back now and all good. Apologies about that. Atalanta having to defend here for a second. Here's Ilicic at the edge of the box. Fred going in with a tackle. Here's Zapata at the edge of the box. Completely miskicks the ball. And now Wan-Bissaka is going to try and hit on the break here. And Wan-Bissaka coming forward. And there's 4 players forward for Man United. Wan-Bissaka lays it into Rashford. Ball towards the path of Greenwood. And well, it was not really much of an effort on goal whatsoever by Mason Greenwood there. It was kind of an acrobatic kind of kick he'd gone for that was scuffed. But this game has come to life. 25 minutes left on the clock. Still 2-1 to Atalanta. And but I said frames are good for now. I think that was just the Wi-Fi in general there for a second because everything just stopped for the moment for me. But we should be all good now, thankfully. I think we'll get that from time to time. To be fair, I'm not actually working tonight's stream on an Ethernet cable either. So the fact that it's worked without an Ethernet cable is very good. But once I've got an Ethernet cable, we should be all good completely when I've got that. But here's Atalanta. It's going to be Joachim Mæhle on the left-hand side. Atalanta getting a feel for the ball again. Duvan Zapata. Going to be their key man, no doubt, to try and put the ball in the back of the net. As I think there's going to be a few substitutions coming on for Man U in a second. Ball lobbed towards Ilicic. He's gone down in the box. Going to be no penalty and a goal kick given instead. And we're finally going to see some changes for Manchester United. Pogba and Cavani coming on. Pogba's going to come on here for Scott McTominay. What a chance he had, McTominay, to get the goal in the game. That would have put them level. And Marcus Rashford, who scored the first goal for Manchester United tonight, he's going to come off. And Edison Cavani comes on for his first appearance in a little while. So Cavani on, Pogba on. And what a front line that is. Ronaldo and Cavani in a front two. I think Ronaldo will go on the left-hand side and Cavani will go up top. But here's Pogba, first touch of the game. Plays the ball to Cavani, who's on the right so far. In these early few seconds of the Uruguayan's appearance. Back to Wan-Bissaka. Into Pogba. Just patiently building up here. Manchester United. You kind of know that they haven't really got a rush to get a goal in this game. It's now Shaw on the left wing, just outside of the box. Looking to exchange passes with Cavani, but the pass was a little bit too heavy by the Uruguayan. And in the end, he's going to go to play for a goal kick. As Atalanta are going to make 2 changes of their own. Malinovsky and Miranchuk coming on. So the first play coming off is Josip Ilicic. I'd say it didn't really do much tonight, but I don't think he had to do much, to be honest with you. He comes off from Miranchuk. And then Mario Pasalic has got the first goal of the game. He's going to come off for Malinovsky, the Ukrainian who has been playing in a false 9 position this season for Atalanta. So whether or not he can get Atalanta over the line, we will have to see as we go into the final 20 minutes of tonight's game. Chris says, how's Coyote doing at Rotherham? Josh Carlisle needed him back and they need a goal scorer. To be fair, he comes on quite a lot as a substitute. I don't think he scored many goals for us. I think he might have scored 1 or 2, but he's been a bit of a part-time player for us. Which, to be fair, with how Michael Smith is playing right now, he's going to be very hard for him to get into the team. I think if maybe Will Grigg drops off form a little bit, then I can see Coyote coming into the squad. But yeah, seeing with what's happened at Carlisle, Chris, I do think you need a striker, and desperately, and a new manager, and probably everything in between as well with how it's going so far for Carlisle. Didn't you draw to 9-men Newport? Or something like that. Not a good season, is it, if you're a Carlisle fan? Not a good season at all. And Atalanta, just the momentum of the last 10 or so minutes has just kind of taken the fizz out of the game. I think Man United, they had that intensity in the first 10-15 minutes of the second half, and that intensity, considering, you know, we've had a couple of substitutions, has just taken that fizz out of the game. And we just need, I think, another chance from United to just maybe bring this game back to life. And here could be a chance. It's Cavani. Plays the ball into Ronaldo, and it's just a little bit too heavy. And, well, Ronaldo applauds Mason Greenwood for the pass, but in the end, just should have probably played in Fernandes, who would have got at least a touch on the ball. And Ronaldo, as I said, does applaud the pass from Greenwood, but again, another chance wide of the mark for Manchester United. As Chris says, drew to 2-2 to 9-men Newport. Oh dear. That's not good. Especially against 9 men as well. That makes it even more depressing. As there's going to be a free kick here, just past the halfway line for Atalanta. Foul on Moranchuk from Harry Maguire. Just want to see if we've had any of the goals tonight in the other games. Still 4-0 to Chelsea. Still 2-0 to Villarreal in their match against Young Boys. Not many goals, if I'll be honest with you, tonight. It's been a bit of a quiet one in terms of goals across the board. Still no goals in the Bayern Munich game, which is quite surprising. I thought we'd have had a couple of goals in that one. And still no goals in the Juve game either. Good result that could be for Zenit. Long ball to Zapata. Oh, he's turned his man. That's brilliant from Zapata. Comes out to the edge of the box. Malinowski goes for it. Good save again from David De Gea. He's bundled over. And that was brilliant from David De Gea to keep Manchester United in this game. Brilliant, brilliant ball to Zapata. Just turns Lindelof completely. Takes the shot on goal. It's a good save on his feet from David De Gea. And then Malinowski with the effort from outside the box. Again, another good double save from David De Gea. And I think that might have just kept Manchester United in this game. Brilliant, brilliant saves from the Spaniard. And I tell you what, David De Gea has probably been one of their better plays this season. And with saves like that, just keeping his side in the game. Corner for Atalanta. It's going to come to the edge of the box. Moranchuk tries to cut in, take the shot. Palomino then takes a shot on which is deflected. And another corner here for Atalanta. And now it's the pressure which is building again on Man United. Can they get something in this game? It just feels like as time is ticking away, United do need to get something fairly desperately in the next 10 minutes for any dreams of a comeback or a point. Corner for Atalanta, lobbed in by Koopmeiners towards the near post, but it goes over everyone and out of play for a goal kick. As it looks like Jadon Sancho is the next player about to come onto the pitch for Manchester United. And it's going to be Mason Greenwood who comes off with 20 minutes left. And I mean, he's not had a good start to the season, has he, Jadon Sancho? But this would be a way to make your mark by getting an all-important goal in this key Champions League group stage fixture. So Sancho on for Greenwood. And I've just realised my 2-2 prediction's still on. So looking very on course for that tonight, potentially. As we have had a goal in one of the other games tonight. And finally, a big goal this could be in Group E. because Bayern Munich have taken a 1-0 lead against SL Benfica. They've had 2 goals disallowed tonight against Benfica, but it looks like the 3rd goal of the night will actually stand in the game against the Portuguese side, and it's Leroy Sané who has got the goal in that game with 20 minutes left of that match. So Bayern Munich 1, Bayern Munich 1, Benfica 0. As Jadon Sancho takes his first touch of the ball in the game, he has got Manchester United a corner out of his first touches in the match. So 17 minutes left. Set piece for Man United. Can they get that all-important equalising goal? Maguire and Lindelof all in the box. It's going to be lobbed in by Bruno. Comes towards Maguire, who gets his head on it, but it's straight into the hands of Musso. And either side, I think he would have had that in the back of the net, but Musso comfortable with the save. And it's a good jump from Maguire as well. Gets a good enough amount of power on the header, but unfortunately Musso again comfortable on the ball, and he gets the save. It's going to be Paul Pogba with a long ball up. And it might be another corner here. Yeah, Lovato with the attempted clearance, and it's going to be out of play here. And another set piece. Maybe another chance here for Harry Maguire to get his head on the ball. It's been taken quickly, but not cleared away. I thought we were going to be getting a corner taken quickly moment there. Here's Jadon Sancho. Bruno with the ball into the box. So he comes towards Cavani. He's come to Maguire! And he's done it! Captain's delight! Because Harry Maguire has just put Man United back level in this game against Atalanta. Could that be a crucial goal in this group stage tie? And he might have not got his head onto it. But go on, Harry. He got at least a foot onto the shot. It was a scuffed effort. Don't think he knew much about it. But it's 2-2 on the night. And they tried to take the corner quickly, Bruno Fernandes, to just try and get Atalanta off guard. And then he puts another cross into the box. It comes off of a deflection. I think it's off. Trying to see who it comes off in the end. I think it comes off one of the Atalanta players. It comes towards Maguire. And he slams it in the back of the net. But Atalanta coming forward here. And nothing will come of it. And it's 2-2 on the night. And with 15 minutes left of this game, can they get the winning goal? The feeling has changed in the camp. The feeling has changed in the stadium. And it's a brilliant finish in the end. I thought it was a scuffed effort at first, but he takes it with his right foot. Just gets enough power to put it past Musso. And it's 2-2 on the night. Could that be the all-important goal that puts Man United in the driving seat of this tie? Because as it stands in their group, it is looking like this. Man United, well, it hasn't actually updated yet. I will say in a second when it updates, but I believe it will put Man United back into 3rd in the group. It will eventually update. We'll find out in a second. But 2-2. And a chance here for Ronaldo at the edge of the box. And in the end, he's going to be given as a free kick to Atalanta. Foul from Ronaldo. But what a game this is turning out to be. A real UCL belter. And there's still 15 minutes left to go. We love a classic. We love a classic on the channel. Absolutely love a classic. And it's looking like maybe with 15 minutes left, this could potentially be another UCL thriller. It's been a couple of very good games over the last few days. Obviously, Liverpool with a big 3-2 win over Atletico Madrid. There was the game between Sporting and Besiktas, which was a 5-goal thriller within itself. Could this be another one? Is Sancho just trying to put pressure on the Atalanta backline to get the ball? And in the end, I think it's going to be another corner. Oh no, it's going to be throwing, this time for Atalanta. But we have had another goal elsewhere, and a very big goal this could be indeed. Because the game between Villarreal and Young Boys is not done yet. Young Boys have got a goal back It's 2-1 in that game between Young Boys and Villarreal. Just looking to see who scored the goal in that game. And it's come from Elia, the forward up top alongside Siabachu. So 2-1 in that game. And if they were to get a goal, Young Boys, it would make this group blown wide open. Here come Atalanta, though. Moranchuk plays the ball to Zappacosta on the right wing. Going to need some of his magic again in this game to get a goal to win the match. They are going to get a throw in, Atalanta, just towards the corner flag. And Old Trafford certainly feels alive once again, as there's going to be another change for Atalanta. We'll see who comes on in just a moment's time. But Man United just tidying things up at the back. Maguire with a clearance which hasn't been fully cleared away. Long ball towards Zapata. Koopmeiners with a long-range effort, but in the end it's wide of the goal and out of play for a goal kick. Chris saying looks like Liverpool after Sacco. Well, there's still time. There's 12 minutes of this game left. Man U might be looking for the winner, but so will Atalanta. So it's going to be Pizzella who comes on for Atalanta. And he's going to come on for Koopmeiners in a second. But here come Man United. Ball towards Ronaldo at the edge of the box. Plays it towards Sancho. He's taking the touch in. And Sancho's in here. Sancho, good save. And it's a brilliant save from Musso, who again has been brilliant tonight. Keeping out the Manchester United front four. Quality save. And in the end, it's going to be given, I think, as a foul for Manchester United. Palomino going into the book. Free kick for Manchester United. What a game this is. Absolutely brilliant. And it was Bruno Fernandes in the end. I thought it was Sancho at first. Brilliant save from Musso to get down low and just get a fingertip on the ball. But 10 minutes left of this game. It's still 2-2. And as I said, we are going to see that change now for Atalanta. Koopmeiners coming off, Pizzella coming on. And you need to catch your breath. This is a relentless match. Back and forth. As we are going to have the free kick taken by Cristiano Ronaldo. So Ronaldo goes for it from long range, and in the end, it's headed away bravely by Palomino, who's probably taken some whack from the power of the Ronaldo free kick. And I think we will have a little bit of an interval in play here, because Palomino certainly put his body on the line tonight. And he put his body on the line for that free kick, and it absolutely whacked him on the head. And I think, of course, we will have a bit of a break in play here, so he can be checked on, which is all right. So Bruno Fernandes with a cross into the box. He's going to come to Shaw at the edge of the box as the constant pressure of Manchester United begins to build. Shaw with a long ball into the box. Ronaldo! Ronaldo's done it! Who else? CR7, baby! 3-2! UCL Knights are made for CR7, and Manchester United, from the depths of defeat, are now 3-2 to the good. And no doubt KD, he'll be celebrating in his room right now, and the Man United fans at Old Trafford are in ruptures, because that is what CR7 was brought here for. And he's only going to do it again. 3-2 to Manchester United. What a game. What a header. It was a brilliant, brilliant header. It's Bruno Fernandes with the initial cross into the box. It comes out to Luke Shaw. Gets played into Fred. Back to Luke Shaw again. He lobs the ball into the box. And it's vintage Ronaldo at the near post. Gets his head onto the ball. There is no way Musso is saving that. Right into the bottom left-hand corner. Viva Ronaldo, 3-2. What a game. Incredible. He just delivers, doesn't he, every single time. Unbelievable. And that's what nights like these were made for. Ole celebrating like mad on the touchline. And well, we've got 8 minutes left of this game. Screen. Let me change it back again. Well, that's the wrong screen again. I've lost the screen that I was on. Let me find it. There we go, back on the proper screen again. It's 3-2. Let me change the scoreboards, because apparently Bayern Munich are 2-0 to the good as well in their game. So that should be all done and dusted there. And then, of course, Manchester United with the all-important goal to get themselves back into the lead. So 2-0 Bayern Munich, 3-2 Man United. And it was expected. It was expected. I think you could have put money on Manchester United getting back into the game. The way that it's been, the aura around the match, the feel of the first 10 to 15 minutes of the game. They put the pressure on Atalanta. And well, there is still some time in this game. It is not fully done yet. But Ronaldo, going to hit this long. Going to try and get it towards Jadon Sancho, who takes the touchdown for the ball. If they could get a fourth here and kill the game off, then what an incredible result this would be for Man United. I mean, as Chris said earlier, it looks like Liverpool might have to be the game to put Ole under pressure again. But they've just got to be careful. Just make sure that they don't maybe take the drama of the match too heavy. They don't, maybe the momentum of the game. They don't want to either sit back, because I think the worst thing you can do, I've always said it before, the worst thing you can do in a game like this is sit back against Atalanta. They are the type of side that'll go for it. They'll just push numbers forward regardless of whether you're 10, 15, 20 minutes into a game. But we are going to see a substitution. They're doing exactly what we thought they would. Nemanja Matic coming on for the last couple of minutes of the match to reassure the Manchester United result. Is there going to be any more late drama in this match? Incredible game. There's been a goal elsewhere, and a massive goal it is in Group H, because Juventus have just taken a 1-0 lead late on against Zenit. What a big, big result it could be, because it could just kill Zenit's dreams of a potential knockout fixture or making the top two of the group. Kulusevski in the 86th minute with a late potential winner. And there's been another goal elsewhere in the Bayern Munich match. It's now 3-0 to Bayern Munich on the night. I'll find out who scored that goal in just a moment. But Bayern Munich now 3-0 to the good. And a game which was fairly tight in the first half has got quite a heavy result on it. But we'll come back to the Bayern game in a second, because there's going to be a corner for Manchester United. And of course, they're not going to put the numbers up now. But if they could maybe get a fourth, could they kill the game off? Corner taken short. It's going to be Bruno outside of the foot. And eventually it's cleared away. But talk about big goals. There has just been a huge goal in Group F. I believe Young Boys have just equalised against Villarreal, which would be a huge goal in Group F to change the entire complexion of the group. I'm just waiting to see whether or not it is actually a goal. But I believe it's Young Boys 2, Villarreal 2. Which is unbelievable if that has happened. We'll obviously wait and see if that has gone in. And it's counted as a goal. But if that has gone in, that changes the entire complexion of Group F. But still time in this game as Atalanta are going to come forward. Zapata on the left wing looking to come forward to get the Atalanta equaliser. Zapata plays the ball into the box. It's scuffed. But still with Atalanta. Malinowski tries to whip the ball into the box. Tackle made by Fred, gets the ball back. It's been given to Atalanta again. Is Mailer on the right wing. Trying to get past Cavani, but brilliant work at the end by Cavani. Although he's giving the ball back to Mailer here. And Atalanta, I think, have got a corner. So a chance for Atalanta to maybe get something in the game. As I'm just checking now, they haven't scored. So it is staying as 2-1 Young Boys. So no goal in that game between Young Boys and Villarreal. 2-1 as it stands in that match. And there still could be some late drama in this game as well. We'll have to see. So 4-0 to Bayern. And still 2-1 to Villarreal on the night against Young Boys. No goal in that one in terms of an equaliser from Young Boys. So Villarreal will be very happy if they can get the 3 points in that game. because they would have bloody desperately needed it with the way that this game's gone tonight. But corner for Atalanta. And I tell you what, I mean, if this was to end 3-3, or if this was to go in, this would be a nuts game. Corner lobbed in by Atalanta. And it's headed away by, I think, Matic with his first touch of the game. So it'll be another corner on the other side for Atalanta. Is there going to be any late drama in this game? As Malinovsky's going to have to go from one side of the pitch to the other to take the corner. Could they get their own goal? Could they make it 3-3? Malinovsky whips the ball into the box. It's come to the edge of the box. Taken down by Mela, who's on the right wing. He's not really got anybody to play the ball into. So he's going to go to the edge of the box for Atalanta. Moranchuk. Played onto the left-hand side. Malinovsky, ball into the box towards the near post. Palomino with the header. It comes towards him. It's still in the box. And in the end, his footwork gets completely stuffed up. And it is going to go out of play for a Manchester United throw-in. Goal. Kick. As we have had a goal in the game between Villarreal and Young Boys. It is not an equaliser for Villarreal. For Young Boys, it is 3-1. To Villarreal on the night. That definitely seals the 3 points for the Spanish side. Alberto Moreno with the goal. So 3-1 on the night there. And that game is well and truly done and dusted now. So good result there for Villarreal tonight in the Champions League. We are into the last 30 seconds of normal time in this match between Manchester United and Atalanta. It is a Champions League classic. And there still could be a few more minutes of this game left, depending on additional time. If you're a neutral, you want about 4 or 5 minutes, just to make it even more interesting. Because Atalanta are looking to come forward and get that late equaliser. They are going to get a free kick here, which has been played quickly. And in the end, Maguire, who is well aware of the quick free kick which has been taken, make sure that Atalanta don't get any more chances. We are into 4 minutes of additional time in this game as it stands in the other games tonight. Manchester United 3, Atalanta 2. Villarreal with a 3-1 win against Young Boys. Zenit with a late goal against... Juventus with a late goal against Zenit. And Chelsea still 4-0 to the good against Malmo. Of course, a lot of those games are going to be coming into the last few minutes of the match. As Ronaldo has just got a free kick for Man United. And that will certainly run down the clock. But what a game. A true UCL classic. It was written in the stars, wasn't it? That United were going to get back into this game. My God, they make it hard for themselves, don't they, Man U? That first half, they were absolutely awful until the last kind of 5 or so minutes of the first half. And they've just come to life. I don't know what it is. UCL nights are made for this. As they've got 3 minutes left to hold on. Going to have the free kick, which has been taken by Lindelof. Going to be hit long. Trying to get it all the way up to Cavani. He's done really well to get the ball down here. Plays it to Luke Shaw on the left wing. Now into Matic, who's giving the ball away. Going to be a throw-in for Atalanta. And just maybe a little chance to see if they can get this up the pitch. I mean, 3-3 would silence Old Trafford if they were to do that. Because right now they are absolutely bouncing. Just one of those nights, isn't it, as a neutral, where you kind of wish you were there. As we've had another goal in the game between Young Boys and Villarreal. And just to cap off the night in even better fashion, it is now 4-1 to Villarreal. Goals flying in at the back end of that match. It's 4-1 to Villarreal there. Good night for Emery and his 11 players. The submarine machine, I guess you could say. As there's going to be a free kick for Man United. And that should run down the clock even more. As Palomino just a little bit frustrated, giving away a free kick on Luke Shaw. And again, as I said, that just runs down the clock. But the pressure was on, wasn't it? We'll talk about the game at the end a little bit more, but the pressure was on. 2-0 down at the end of the first half. You know, you needed to make one hell of a team talk to get your team back into the match. And just the way that they've gone about it. As I said, you just felt like Man U were going to get back into the game. So a minute and a half left, maybe a little bit of additional time because of the free kick. Nemanja Matic going to go into the book, yellow card for a bit of time wasting. Of course, that's a very Matic thing to do. And they will take a little bit even more time to take the free kick. So I think the referee here just making sure they know that the time's going to be added on. And eventually the free kick is taken by Maguire. It's lofted towards Ronaldo on the left wing, trying to just control the ball and hold it towards the corner flag. He's giving it away in the end. It might come back to Cavani here. Lovato clears away. Deflects back to Atalanta. And this might be one of the last chances for the Italian side to come forward. They're going to have to make the most of this if they want to get a point in this game. Ball lofted long to Joachim Mel on the right-hand side, but the pass is too heavy, and I think that might be that in terms of Atalanta's hopes and dreams of 3 points in the Champions League. What a game. Another brilliant European night. And hopefully we've got plenty of those to come on Sports Corner in the near future. Fingers crossed. 15 seconds left on the clock. And there's going to be another yellow card coming out here. It's going to be Cavani this time with the yellow card. Headed Malinowski rather than the ball, so he's got a yellow card for that. And there will be a free kick for Atalanta, and this will be it. This will be the last kick of the game, I think. It's in a decent position to whip this in the box, but I would assume this will be the last chance of the game. Are we going to get a last gasp equaliser? It's going to be taken by Malinowski. Oh, played into Moranchuk. Freuler lobbed into the box. It's cleared away by Man United. And he's screaming at the referee for full-time whistle. He's not blown it yet. Still obviously adding a little bit of time on because of the free kick delay from Matic. Atalanta, they've still got the ball. Going to have to lob it into the box. It comes to the edge of the box. Zappacosta with a long-range effort. And that should surely be that. And you see the reaction of the Man U players. They know that this game is done. And there's the full-time whistle. Viva Ronaldo. What a game in the Champions League as Manchester United come back from 2-0 down on the night to win 3-2 in a Champions League classic. It was an absolutely brilliant game. It started off with the 2 goals at the very beginning of the match for Atalanta. 2 really good goals. One from Pasalic and one from Merrick Demiral, who was very good in the first half of the game. But the second half, it was the United comeback. The way that they composed themselves and got themselves back into the match. The first goal from Rashford was a lovely composed finish from inside of the box. The second goal coming from Maguire. A really good finish in the end. I thought initially it was a scuff shot, but he got a really good connection on the ball with his right foot and got the ball into the back of the net. And then, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo. Just CR7 things, isn't it? Gets a brilliant header onto the ball. Just a typical Ronaldo headed goal. And that is the winning goal. That gets Ronaldo and Manchester United a vital 3 points. Because the way that the group was looking, they were condemned to the very bottom of the group. They now sit top of the table with 6 points at the end of match day 3. And the way that the group is looking is very exciting because it looks the exact same as the group that they were in last year. Because bottom of the group is Young Boys on 3 points. Villarreal, with their win tonight, 4-1 win, of course, against Young Boys, they're moving to 3rd place on 4 points. Atalanta, after defeat tonight, they're 2nd, also on 4 points. And then, of course, because of that all-important Ronaldo winning goal, Manchester United now back on top of the group on 6 points. And look, I mean, you can sit there tonight and you can say it's a UCL Classic. It was a brilliant, brilliant Champions League match. But I think you have to sit there and say as well, number one, the worrying signs are there. The defensive woes of Manchester United are there. It's clear. It looks like that's just going to be the way it is this season. It's just going to be one of those for Manchester United where you're going to have to ride the storm. And there are going to be points where, Man United fans are going to hate it, the Leicester game. But there are also going to be points like this tonight where you're going to absolutely love it. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy these types of nights. But that is probably the way that Man United are going to be under Ole. You expect a lot of these games to end with both teams scoring 3-2s, 2-1s, 3-3s, those types of results. But I think you've also got to say, on the other hand, it's a clear detriment to the spirit of Manchester United to come back from 2-0 down at half-time in a game where things were looking pretty bleak at the end of the first half. To come back and score the 3 goals is a big, big credit to them. And congratulations to United for what is, as I said, I think a very deserved 3 points with the way that the second half panned out. I mean, Tubbs saying this group shouldn't have been a problem for United. They got lucky with the group draw. And I think you could say that. You could easily say that. But at the same time, I think Atalanta and Villarreal are 2 very good teams. I think Man United, yes, definitely, they've got the better of the 3 sides in the group. But it's a detriment to the other teams in the group to how well they have all played, to how tight this group is. And it makes for very exciting view when it comes to the next games, because, of course, Atalanta are going to be playing Manchester United again in the next match that those 2 sides face off against each other. Again, that's going to be a very, very big match, because depending on what happens in that game, it could maybe condemn Atalanta potentially to maybe finish in the Europa League positions. But the other games are done tonight, full time across the rest of the games of the Champions League this evening. To go through the results, as we've got a bit more time, you might as well stay alive for a little longer and talk about the rest of the games. Some really good games tonight. Plenty of goals across the board by the end of the evening. We'll start off with the Lille-Sevilla match, the only game of the night, which ended with no goals in it. Don't know how it didn't actually end with a goal, if I'm being honest with you. 0-0 between Lille and Sevilla. Lille, probably quite glad they've got a point on the board. They definitely needed to get something tonight just to keep them in the race for the Champions League knockout stages. As for Sevilla, if they would have got something tonight, most likely a win, then it would have put them in a very good position to make it through to the next round. If you're Salzburg, you sat top of the group on 7 points, you're pretty much through to the next round of the competition. You only need 1 point, which I'm pretty safe to say Salzburg should get. So that's the only goalless game of the night. Of course, Zenit Juventus, 1-0 win for Juventus on the night. Very good game, actually, looking at the stats. Plenty of opportunities for both teams, but Kulusevski with a late winner in that game means that Juventus are on 9 points now, and that might have just condemned Zenit to probably go down to the Europa League. They would have to get something against Zenit in their next game, or against Malmo, I think, if they want to go through to the next round of the competition. I just don't see them getting anything against Chelsea in their next match. So good result there for Juventus tonight. Bayern Munich, 4-0 win. Of course, Lewandowski scoring another goal. When does he not score? 4-0. On a night where, look, I think you could probably say they didn't play as well as they usually could. Maybe not in full first gear. But 4-0, comfortable result for Bayern Munich tonight. In the way that Group E's panned out, it does mean Barcelona are now back in the race to finish in the top 2. Sad times. However, Bayern Munich sat top of the table on 12, with 12 goals scored, no goals conceded. Good start, isn't it, for Bayern Munich in the UCL this season? Benfica is still staying second on 4 points, Barcelona on 3, and then Dinamo Kiev getting a point against Benfica. And then the other game tonight, Chelsea-Malmo, 4-0 win for Chelsea. Good result tonight. Again, one of those games where Chelsea didn't really have to play in first gear. 4-0 win, Lukaku and Werner both coming off. I think Lukaku was hobbling at one point. Werner probably taken off to rest. 2 goals tonight for Jorginho, a goal for Havertz and a goal for Christensen. A very simple result against a much expected 3 points against Malmo at the very least, who sit bottom of their group. And then finally, a very good night for Villarreal in a game which, stats-wise, is quite even. It's a very even game stats-wise. Lots of opportunities for young boys. But in the end, ultimately, the back end of the game, it just got away from them. They were 2-1 down with 77 minutes on the clock. But late goals from Alberto Moreno and Chukwueze killed the game off, and a much needed 3 points for Villarreal, because had they not got the points tonight, it would have put them in a very precarious position to make it through to the knockout stages of the Champions League. So they are all of the results tonight. Very, very good night indeed, and we got the best of the bunch, the classic of course, Manchester United coming back from 2-0 down to win against Atalanta by 3-2. Don't forget, as always, if you are new to the stream, don't forget to leave a like and subscription if you are new to the channel. If you want to check out our social media links, as always, at the _top corner is our Twitter, the _sports corner _ is our Instagram. Links are in the description and in the chat, as always. We will be back with the Champions League again. Of course, it does take a 2-week break now. We'll be back at the beginning of November. It is the role reversal of these fixtures, which means some of the games coming up, of course, it will be just the role reversals. Bayern against Benfica, Atalanta against Man United. There's some of the standout games on Tuesday. And then the Wednesday games, Liverpool against Atletico Madrid. That one could be a feisty one again, as well as the likes of Dortmund, Ajax, Real Madrid, Shakhtar Donetsk. Some very good games across the board on Wednesday night. Very, very good indeed. But that is it tonight for the Champions League action. As I said, if you're new, don't forget to leave a like, subscription. We will be back, I'm thinking Sunday. Sunday we'll be back for the El Clasico around about 3 o'clock. Do, as I said, check out our links and you'll find out if and when that happens. But what a night. A Champions League classic. Who else but Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo was going to get Manchester United back in the game. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Cal, for that donation as well. And we hope to see you again on the Sports Corner very soon. Viva Ronaldo. Good night.